You ever felt lost, unmotivated, and discouraged? And at the same time, you're searching for the best way to spark up a dope beat from scratch. We all been there, man. But I found a way out. I got 3 methods that work for me every time, and they'll work for you as well. Lose the frustration, eliminate the beat block, and let's get the juices flowing again so we can spark up that fire hot beat. PL Beers, you know what time it is. Let's grow. Welcome to another episode of Platinum Lyrics and Beats. I'm your host, Trey. Boy, what's up? Let's jump straight into it. The top 3 ways to kick off a hip-hop beat, even when you're in a rut. All right, here we go. Number 1, find inspiration. We hear the word inspiration all the time, but what does it really mean? Inspiration is the process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel something, especially creative. All right, like making beats. That's what we're talking about today. For music producers, inspiration often comes from various sources, such as personal experiences, like going to a concert. Have you ever went to a concert and the crowd was rocking to the music and you thought to yourself, man, I can't wait to get back to the studio and cook up a dope beat, right? That's inspiration. Or maybe you got inspired from your emotions, being in a good mood or even an angry mood. Some of those aggressive hip-hop beats you listened to in the past, I guarantee you, that producer was probably upset. He was mad about something, or he just wanted to release some frustration, all right? Or inspiration can come from listening to nature, everyday sounds, hearing things like in your surroundings that inspired you, and you thought, I'll make a beat out of that. Bird sounds, dog sounds. You can be creative with making a beat pretty much out of anything. Inspiration is that spark that ignites creativity because it's the fuel behind the process of crafting a beat and melodies and mixing them with passion, creativity, and our own vibes. That's what makes the magic, okay? Without inspiration, music production can feel stagnant, dead, or like a chore. But when inspiration strikes, it can lead to groundbreaking compositions and unforgettable beats. That's how it works. All right, now here's a CTA, call to action. Whenever you're in a slump and you're trying to find that energy to create, before diving in the music production process, let's do this. Take a few deep breaths, close your eyes, and chill out a little bit. And take some time to listen to your favorite hip-hop songs or beats, or even explore new hip-hop songs or genres that interest you, okay? Pay attention to the rhythm, the melody, and the arrangements of the song. You'll find inspirations from the music you listen to. You'll gather ideas for your own beats. This is how it works, all right? We get inspired by listening to other music, all right? And we'll get into the creative mindset quickly. That's how it works, all right? And it does work. This will pull you out of that slump when you're feeling stuck. This is one of the best ways to kickstart your beat-making process because it inspires you and helps you to understand the different genres and gives you a different perspective and foundation to build upon whether you're in a good mood or not, okay? Being inspired just works, okay? It works. Yo, we'll get back to the episode in just a few minutes, but I want to give you a free gift for rocking with me today, all right? Are you tired of your beats sitting on your hard drive collecting dust? Are you struggling to make money from all the hard work, time, and effort you put into making dope music? If the answer is yes, this is the perfect time to build a profitable email list to market, promote, and sell your beats, songs, or products if you have any, all right? Just go to buildlistsellbeats.com. Buildlistsellbeats.com and download the email marketing tools for music producers checklist for free. That's right, I'm giving this game for free. You'll get access to the game-changing list of tools and resources that enable me to gain a lucrative email list with supportive listeners and music lovers ready to make a purchase. All right, email marketing is here to stay. Check the data. 347 billion emails were sent and received per day in 2023. All right? And it's going to just increase from there. And for music producers, artists, songwriters like ourselves looking to grow and build their fan base, supporters, and bank account, may I add, all right, building an email list is the most rewarding thing you can do. Take advantage of the potential profits you can make on your musical journey by downloading the proven, neatly, well-crafted, laid-out checklist today, all right? Go to buildlistsellbeats.com and download the checklist today and turn your passion for creating music into money in your bank account. The link's in the description. Back to the episode. Let's go. Okay, let's jump to number 2. My favorite tip and method to kick off a hip-hop beat, even when I'm feeling uninspired. Experiment with samples and melodies. Look, I encourage you to take a moment and really explore all the samples, melodies, sound effects, and drum loops you have chilling on your hard drive. And pick out the ones that stand out to you, all right? You know the ones that are dope. Check out the ones that are screaming out. Make a beat out of me. Sample me. I sound dope. You know how you listen to a sample and you like, man, I got to use that in a beat. I got to use that sample. All right, now check this out. Now this is the process I go through when I do this, all right? So what I do is I have a separate folder. I name this folder Samples to Try. I created a separate folder, all right? And as I'm browsing through all my samples and drum loops and melodies, everything that sticks out to me that sounds good, sounds like I can make a beat out of that sample, something I can come back to later, I place all of these samples in the folder. Now note this, when you go through this process and you try this, be sure to make a copy of all the samples first so you can have 2 copies and you don't just move it from one folder to another and you lose the sample, right? You want to have it in both folders. Keep all of your original samples in the correct folder, but definitely put it in another folder and title it what you want. And when you get ready to create another beat, that'll be the folder you go to start sparking up inspiration, all right? You can always go back to that folder because that's the folder that you like, the ones that stood out to you. And when you listen to them again, it's going to spark that inspiration, all right? Okay, now check this out. Here are 2 samples I came back to in my sample folder, Samples to Try folder. That's what I named the folder, Samples to Try. You can name it whatever you want to name yours. And I made complete beats out of these samples, all right? Check it out. All right, and this is what I came up with, the entire beat.
Trey Boy Music.
Okay, so just from the melody, right? Just from the melody, I came up with this entire beat. That's why I always tell you guys to start with the melody. The melody is going to set the tone for the whole beat, the whole track. It's going to get you in the mood to Start creating, adding elements to your beat. Start with the melody, right? But sometimes you may be working on a beat and you run across a sample and you say, man, that's dope. And it doesn't really fit the beat you're working on, but you can come back to it. Put those samples in your samples to try folder. All right. Here's another sample I went back to and I created a whole beat to. Check it out. That's just a sample, right? I heard that sample and I was like, I could do something with that. I heard drums behind it, I heard cymbals behind it, I heard the 808s. Here's the whole entire track. Well, just a piece of it. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but here's a piece of the track. Ever catch yourself with beats constantly playing in your head? Do you use pots and pans, or maybe even your school desk as an imaginary drum machine? Look, I've been there, seeking the outlet for all of that creative energy. That's why I dove into the world of music production, and it transformed my creative space entirely. If you're itching to explore the world of music production, look, I got you covered. I created a free video, The Beginner's Guide for Music Producers. All right? I'm covering the essential equipment for producers, guiding you through crafting a dope beat from scratch, and shedding light on the exciting career paths awaiting skilled music producers ready to make money from doing what they love. All right? Ready to dive into this amazing musical journey? Head over to aspireproducerslab.com today and let's unwrap the gift of music production together. Your creative adventure starts now at aspireproducerslab.com. Back to the episode. And if you haven't heard by now, hip hop is known for its creative use of samples and unique sounds. So don't be afraid to experiment with different sounds and samples, drum loops, all right? Just don't put yourself in the box. Whether they're from vinyl records, sample packs, or even your own records. Load those joints on the software like Serato Sample. I use Serato Sample. Whatever you want to use, okay? Start chopping, pitching, and manipulating those samples to create something new and interesting. And then check this out. Explore different instrument sounds and effects to add depth to the texture of your beat. This approach encourages creativity and allows you to develop your own signature sound within the hip-hop genre, and will also allow you to get out of the creative slump that you may be in. All right, now let's jump into tip number 3. The best way to kick off your hip-hop beats, even when you're feeling uninspired. All right? Start with drums and percussion loops. Okay, now some of y'all may be laughing right now. Those of you that's been following me for a while, you know, I always say start off the beat with the melody. But every once in a while, I find me a dope drum loop, all right? And I slap the melody or the bass line on that joint, and I let the magic happen. And this only makes sense because hip-hop beats are heavily driven by rhythm. So sometimes it's best to start by laying down the drum patterns first. Focus on creating a solid groove with a kick, a snare drum, and a hi-hat. Experiment with different drum sounds, patterns, and tempos until you find a rhythm that feels right to you, okay? Now I'll let you know, the most popular tempos in hip hop typically range from about 70 BPM to 100 BPM. BPM stands for beats per minute, all right? However, it is important to know that hip hop is a diverse genre, and tempos can vary depending on the style of subgenre for the music, all right? For example, old school hip hop beats or songs often feature tempos around 80 to 95 BPM. Boom bap typically falls in the range of 85, let's say, to 95 BPM, okay? Trap, known for its slower tempos, usually around 60 to 75 BPM. But ultimately, the tempo can vary based on artist preference, the mood they're in, the mood they're trying to create, and the overall style of the song, all right? If you've been listening to hip-hop music for most of your life, you have a good idea and a good feel, a good vibe for what the tempo needs to be for your drum loop, all right? But starting with the drums, this sets the foundation for the rest of the track and helps establish the overall vibe and energy of your beats, all right? So when you're looking for a little motivation to spark up a new beat and you need some new ideas, first start off with looking for some inspiration, all right? And other beats, songs, and your favorite genre to get the juices flowing. And this will get your mind ready to produce something dope and great. Nothing great ever happens without inspiration. Remember that. Then we want to take a listen to our favorite samples in the separate folder we created. This helps us to spark up a beat in no time because we already chose the samples that we like already with a bunch of samples that stand out to us, all right? And lastly, if we want to spark up a hip-hop beat, another way, we can start with a groovy drum loop. Set the tempo and layer everything else on top and watch the magic happen, homie, all right? These 3 tips are sure to get you going. I've been using this method for years. Whenever I'm in a slump, whenever I need to be inspired, I go back to the music that I know, I dig, I groove with, and it gets me out of that slump and helps me to gain inspiration and start making dope beats again, okay? Aspiring music producers, fellow music producers, thank you for hanging out with me today, supporting PLB. Subscribe so you can watch more videos like this every week. Y'all know we're here every Tuesday. We drop a video every Tuesday. Remember to produce with a purpose. Let's get that work. This Trey Boy, I'm out. Peace.